Do you think this is like a setup episode? Like, was this a setup episode to set something up for the next episode?
I hope.
Because like it's not a lot happened.
No, but not a lot's been happening since Dorit and Kyle got back together, in my opinion.
Well, last week I liked the episode. I liked last
Sure.
week's episode. This was like a, I don't know. I don't know how to feel about it. I don't know how to feel about it.
There's a good way to get through it, Steele.
Take notes.
Talk about it. Talk about it on a podcast with the microphones.
Shooter's doing the accent.
Come on.
Yeah, we're in trouble.
Bros and shows. I gotta have me my bros and shows. Bros and shows. Bros and shows. I gotta have me my bros and shows.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Bros and Shows. I'm your co-host, Steele Russell, joined as always by the one and only When It Rains, It Goots. What's up, dude?
Yeah, I feel like it hasn't rained in like 2 months.
At the very least, I mean,
It's
we
not
got
like this.
snow, but yeah, this came out of nowhere, and I've just been checking my basement because inevitably it's going to flood.
Yeah, that happens to you.
First flood of the season.
Woohoo, everybody's excited.
Yeah, rip that Band-Aid off.
Yeah, that's kind of how you have to do it. But also, happy Ash Wednesday to everybody who celebrates.
Oh yeah, that's a thing too.
Although I guess it's probably Thursday for most
Happy
people
what's
listening
Thursday.
now.
It's Ash Wednesday, something Thursday.
Well, that's not until like Easter time, but yeah, it's Holy
Palm
Thursday.
Friday.
Palm Friday. Yep.
Is that what?
Palm Sunday.
Is it Palm Sunday? I am not Catholic. Yeah, but yeah, I saw a lot of people celebrating today. A lot of people walking around with the cross in their
It's
forehead.
tough to be like in the city in Philadelphia and it's downpouring and you went and got your ashes today and it's just like smearing all over your face.
Makes it look like you're Erica Jane wearing the non-drip eyeliner or whatever, non-waterproof eyeliner.
Yep.
Yeah,
Perfect.
that's
Great
see what I
tie-in.
did there?
Great tie-in.
Yeah, I do what I can. I do it for the people at home. It's for you guys. That's what we do it for.
Yeah,
honestly.
we do everything for you.
Yeah, but like I said, this was kind of a whatever episode. There's character development. There's things moving forward. It's just an interesting tone, I guess. Like I don't understand the tone of the show at the moment. Maybe that's what I should say.
Boring?
No, I know that. I'm like what are we doing?
So this is what I'm worried about it because I've been talking about this for weeks. And I know we watch shows differently. There's certain shows that, you hold in high regard. I tend to crap on them whenever I can.
I think it's just because you expect more out of a Beverly Hills. You expect more out of the top tier shows.
But I've been trying. So I was trying to psychoanalyze myself, which is a scary thing to do.
No, don't do that. Go to therapy.
And I'm not just saying for me. I just meant like in general. When you're trying to psychoanalyze yourself, it's not a good call. But this is about Bravo, so it's fine. It's just like it's a soft psychoanalysis. It's okay.
Is BetterHelp still one of our sponsors?
No, they are not. I don't believe so. But anyway, I was trying to figure this out because, like you said, I hold Beverly Hills to a higher regard. I expect more from them.
Yeah.
Why do I expect more from them? They haven't been good in like 7 years. I don't know why I still expect so much from them.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And here's the thing. I just always think, and like, obviously, the ratings are out there, but it's because everybody's like a household name at this point. You want to see what's going on with Kyle and Mauricio because you've been watching Kyle for 20 years. I understand all of that. But the show hasn't been consistently good in a very long time.
I agree with that.
We're happy when it's solid and we get like a couple of nuggets here and there and they're good episodes and they're entertaining or whatever. But in terms of a whole season, Beverly Hills has been left behind by a lot of the Bravo shows in the last 3-4 years.
Yeah, we haven't had a banger season in a while. That's a good point. And I think, because like when I watch this, it's not like I'm miserable. Like I'm like, oh my God, nothing's happening. Because there's stuff happening where I'm like, oh, that's nice. Like, oh, that's cool. Like, good for them. But then I'm like, at the end of the episode, I look back at my notes. I'm like, what did we cover? I mean, again, it's like character development for individuals in their personal life, which is great. But like,
can we please just leave Erica's interior design behind?
That could have been one episode.
But it's such a bad omen. It's not even really an omen. It's a bad sign for the season as a whole that we have revisited Erica's house and her interior design journey 4 or 5 times.
Well, look, I get what they're doing with it.
It's just a boring topic. Like,
That's
you can
my
do it
point.
once or twice and be like, here's the Porsche. Here's the guy coming over to look at my house. Here's the finished
house
product.
with mom.
Yes. Perfect. That is the way to do it. We didn't need the 3 episodes in between. Like, here's a check-in with Erica. She's still designing her house. It's like, okay, what do we have to say about this? Well, I've come a long way since Tom.
Amazing.
Incredible.
Yeah, it is.
You do get 2 thumbs up from us, genuinely. But as a viewer who wants entertainment, you get 7 thumbs down.
Well,
and it's not Erica's fault. It's just this is what she's doing. I'm, what's the, I don't know.
Heads up, 7 Up.
I don't know. I was going to say, I think it's Sheba or Shiva. The Indian god that has like
Indian
7
goddess?
arms. Yeah,
That's what you're doing.
that's me.
Okay.
Yep. I don't know why my brain went there.
That's
This is the product of me psychoanalyzing myself, and this is what happens.
don't do that anymore.
This is Beverly Hills' fault, by the way.
Nope, this is your fault.
I know. But look,
I always tell you to look inward, but maybe not that far.
I'm going to be positive about it.
Okay.
Obviously, we're still going to talk about Beverly Hills, and that's great. But I think it's more of a byproduct of the rest of Bravo Housewives being really good.
Yeah.
I'm not comparing them or anything. I'm just saying
It's been a good year.
Wildly entertained by Salt Lake City, Miami.
OC had a great season.
OC had a great season, but other Bravo
Potomac had a
shows like
solid
Soho,
season.
Potomac was entertaining as fuck just because it was camp and enjoyable to watch.
Sure.
This is just like, okay,
That's
great.
what I mean.
Like,
yeah.
And what's the main component of the season? Like the Kyle and Dorit stuff was fun while it lasted, but now it's pretty much over.
Fizzled out quick. Like it's again, when I'm watching it, I'm not miserable. I'm like, all right,
No,
fine.
I'm
like,
not.
I'm entertained. I'm like, whatever. But it's not hitting like the other shows have been hitting, especially the Housewives, which we needed. Right? We were in a big rut last year, and honestly, the year before that.
Yeah.
Miami was really the only standout that I can think of, and obviously Salt Lake. But those are the only two I could point to.
Mm-hmm.
Since then, a lot of shows have come a long way, I feel like, and I still feel like
There's a lot of non-housewife shows that are really good though now too, and that's
yeah.
probably the direction they start to go in.
Shift.
It's more of a
that.
balance where it's not as much housewife heavy.
No,
because they're not the most entertaining shows on Bravo anymore. And yeah, obviously Salt Lake is still up there, Miami's still up there, but like a Soho, which is
Soho
growing.
and Summer House are doing 1 million an episode.
I know, and that's incredible for them. And that's both of those. Well, that's back-to-back days for them.
Yes.
So for Bravo to start captivating a younger audience, which it seems like they want to do, those are the shows that they're going to have to go towards, and they're going to have to cater towards those shows. So we might have to see some sort of a disruption of balance, if you will. And it's going to have to start with a show like Beverly Hills, which just has people that we've known for years that just aren't delivering.
Yeah, I think
I'm not saying retool or do anything. I'm just saying, like,
I'm not
give them a
saying
kick in the
scrap
ass
it.
and just say, like, be entertaining.
Something needs to happen where it just gets, ticked up a notch, because I think what we're getting from the ladies, and we'll jump in, it's not bad. It's not bad. It's personal growth. It's like where they're at in their life right now. It's genuine. That's the one thing I like about this season is the stuff that I am seeing with everyone's individual journeys appears to be genuine, and I like that.
Sure.
Like with Sutton in this fashion show, her relationship with her mom, Garcelle and her kids, everything she's doing, her production and all that, like that seems genuine moving forward. Erica Jane moving forward in her life, Kyle dealing with the mo shit, finally being open and honest with us, Dorit talking about like everything seems to be on the up and up. I'm enjoying that.
That only goes so far.
That's my point, because now we're at this point where it's like, all right, we're just watching all of you gradually feel more comfortable.
But you know what that
yourselves.
breeds? That gets to the point where people last week get upset that Sutton called out Dorit and said that my wallet's bigger than hers.
Right, and you're like,
now people all of a sudden who watch housewife shows are like offended by that.
They're livid.
Like, oh God, how dare you say something like that? I need to make sure that she's okay. It's like you guys are being too nice to these housewives.
Exactly.
That are supposed to fight.
Not like
We're supposed to see glasses and tables flipped and shit. Not this. Like,
No.
yeah, it's nice because we know them and, we get to watch them all the time and you want to see personal growth here and there. But we want to see fights. We want to see arguments. We want to see good clapbacks. And right now, Beverly Hills isn't doing any of that, but we're seeing it on other shows. And now we watch this and you're like, just kind of boring.
Exactly.
But like,
It's meh.
and they're given, I think this is the most frustrating part about Beverly Hills. And the reason why we're going into such a long intro is because there isn't a whole lot to talk about. The problem with Beverly Hills, you can look at the first scene and the first thing that we talk about, which is Mauricio in the pictures. There's not a lot there. And like, are they just splitting it up over a couple episodes where people are going to have
Probably.
reactions?
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about it and then we're going to get Kyle into it.
And then Mo
Apparently
comes
she
home.
storms off at the reunion because they have to talk about it again and all of his cheating scandals. And Kyle gets upset and walks away. Like, yeah, we hear that these things happen, but you're not delivering on screen. We're just kind of like, yeah, this happened. Let's talk about it with Kathy and Kyle. And then like nothing comes of it until next episode and next episode. And it's just kind of frustrating.
It's kind of dragging on. But again, it's like this weird middle ground of she appears to finally be talking about things. So for that, I'm grateful. So I don't want to. I don't want to just shit on this season because
I think it's the cast. Like, all right, so
Yeah.
let me paint a picture for you.
Okay.
And this is not alleged or anything like that, so don't read it too far into this. But come to find out, before Salt Lake City starts to film,
Okay.
John Barlow is caught cheating on Lisa.
That did not happen for
Did
the
not happen
record.
for everybody to
This
know
is
that.
an example.
That is an atomic bomb similar to Mauricio and Kyle. And, well, not really because they
really.
did separate. But like Mauricio was cheating on Kyle, so it's not
Allegedly.
necessarily the same.
What are you doing right now?
He was probably cheating on her. Let's be honest.
Allegedly.
We've talked about this a million times.
But I'm just gonna keep saying allegedly.
But I'm just saying, like, a similar marital bombshell goes off in a different franchise that is doing well.
Mm-hmm.
I am salivating.
Oh, yeah.
At the idea of watching that unfold and the rest of those women talk to Lisa about it and then talk amongst themselves. When it happens in Beverly Hills, I'm like, it's going to be like kind of catty. You know, they're not really going to talk to each other. They might get into a couple of fights, a lot of storm
They're
outs.
not going to dive into what happened.
It's not going to be fun.
Yeah. Okay. And I think maybe that's where we're at with it. And I don't think you need to restructure the cast. I don't think people need to be fired. I think they just need to figure out the direction they want to take this show in, because that's how I see it. I feel like it's directionless at the moment, and it's not bad, but it's not great. And Beverly Hills should be great.
It should be.
That's what I think. So
you're refraining from saying we want to make Beverly Hills great again.
More than you know. more than you know.
Well, look, we got through all of that. I'm a little tired.
Yeah.
I think I need to pick me up.
You know,
what do you say about that?
I think that I got just the thing. Just the thing. And look,
is it sitting on our table right in front of us?
It is. And I'm like so excited to drink it because I've been so sleepy today. And these things, since we've gotten Magic Mind, dude, like I can't start my day without them. Sometimes I double up during the day because, as you know, I'm in the fitness industry, the nutrition industry, and like I love these things because I always look for, I just spilled some on my pants. That sucks.
That's all right.
I feel
like that's happened before.
Yeah, it has, but I'm more upset that I wasted some. But, I like to find things that are natural, that give me a little boost, make me feel a bit more clear. My big thing now is like when we get to recording at the end of the day, a lot of the times we have 2 episodes back to back. I've got a 5-month-old now.
Ooh.
So I just feel kind of fuzzy sometimes, a little foggy, and I want to bring my A game for our audience. As you know, I don't like to ever half-ass it. You guys know that too. What this does is just, it clears the fog. It gets me more focused. I'm locked in for the pod. I'm locked in after if I have to edit or if I'm cutting clips out. I love the fact that it has ashwagandha in it. They highlight the nootropics and the adaptogens, a lot of things that I firmly believe in and things that I've taken prior, but never all at the same time. And what Magic Mind did for me was combine all of that. It makes my mental performance better. It makes my gut health feel better. Like I just feel better.
Yeah. It's honestly, it's one of the best things ever because it gives me the mental shot that I need in the morning, both literally and figuratively.
Hey.
And it's something I'll have before I go drive out to work, before I even have my coffee. It just kind of gets my day going. It's such a
100%.
good thing to build a routine off of, to just wake up, grab one out of the fridge, put it down, walk out, and I can feel myself just feeling stress-free as I'm driving out to work, which I hate going to work. Everybody knows it. I complain about it almost every episode. But this makes my life so much better because I can just feel everything kind of clearing up in a nice, easy way while I'm driving out to work. And I feel like I can just start my day off on the right foot.
And I think the coolest part is, and like, I'm a huge Pete Holmes fan, and I watch his podcast a lot, and he loves Magic Mind. He was talking about it for so long. I've always wanted to try it. So when we finally got to try it, I was so excited, and the fact that it actually worked was even more exciting. Even my wife has been taking them for like 7 days, and she's feeling a difference. She feels more focused at work, on the computer, all of those good things. And the good thing is, if you want to try it at home, they have a limited time offer that you can use now that gets you up to 48% off on your subscription, on your first subscription, or 20% off on a one-time purchase with the code SHOWS20. So go to magicmind.com and you can claim it at magicmind.com/shows. So go give it a whirl. I promise you're going to be like, I don't know. And as soon as you try, you're going to be like, wow, I wish I'd been taking these for so much longer.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Now I'm ready to dive into this episode. So good call on taking a little Magic Mind break. And let's lock in. And we start out with a quick preamble. Because we got the LA management. Jade is now a model, which is awesome. Good for him. Sutton and RHOBH are FaceTiming because RHOBH is planning on coming out to LA, which is great. We'd love to see that relationship flourishing. Sutton needs it. She needs the validation.
Needs it. She's been stressing it.
Yeah, needs that validation very badly. So I was really hoping RHOBH was going to make it out there, but we'll talk about that later. We get Kathy and Kyle getting mammograms, which I love. They lost their mom to breast cancer. She found a lump, and by the time they had found it, she was already stage 4. So they make a point to go, which I think is awesome, and they do this whole thing together. But obviously, we're going to talk about the Mo stuff.
Yeah.
And I realize they're on their way there.
That's what I feel like we're just kind of getting to. Yeah.
Yeah, and like they're sitting there talking about it, and Kathy's like, "So how are you doing?" And she's like, "I don't even know how to think about it. Like everything's so crazy." And she's like, "Yeah." She's like, "Why are you asking?" She's like, "Why? What do you mean? Like because of the picture?" "Yeah, I just wanted you to see it." I was like, "What the fuck?"
Oh, I've known about it. I saw it.
Yeah,
Everybody else told me about it.
Yeah, what do you? Of course, that's why you're asking. We can skip around the niceties.
Yeah.
Like, you're not going to ruin our day. Obviously, we're going to talk about this picture that popped up. And it's this weird middle ground. I don't know what to think because, on one hand, Kyle doesn't want him to feel guilty, but wants him to be less irresponsible. In my head, it's like, he should be more respectful to you. This shouldn't be happening in public because you guys are still married. I get you're separated. I get we've seen things in the press previously, right? We saw Mo on the Aspen trip doing body shots and shit. We saw Kyle with all the Morgan Wade stuff. So maybe the die's been cast already, so now it's like a free-for-all, but I feel like they'd gotten to a place where we hadn't seen things for a while.
Yeah.
And this comes out. She's trying to be, not overbearing with it, which I really actually appreciate.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, you should have a say, like, hey, man, like, clean it up a little bit.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of what we end up boiling it down to is how did this happen? When did it happen? Who was aware of what was going on?
When, what, and why.
You're not Brad Pitt, so on and so forth.
Multiple times.
Multiple times. I've heard Brad Pitt's name multiple times in this episode alone. But it's a tough job for us to really weigh out, like, all right, and I'm not going to say that anybody's in the fault more than the other person because I don't really think that it matters that much, honestly. I think that really what matters is, did he hire paparazzi to follow him to the airport to take that picture? Is he salty about the whole Morgan Wade thing and he wanted to get back at her? That's what I want to know, and we're never going to find that out, obviously.
She's putting the emphasis on the woman.
Yes. Which I don't think is fair. I mean,
don't think
what
that's
is she,
fair
21?
either.
Like, she doesn't know what she's doing.
She's wearing a beach cover up to go pick him up at the airport, like in Mykonos. I don't know. I mean, the whole
thing is very sketchy, but
somebody called somebody.
Yeah.
There's no reason for that unless, here's the thing, and this is very real. The Bravo network of Bravo fans obviously is very large. If somebody in Mykonos, it's very, very, why can't I think of that word? Likely.
Okay,
Wow.
likely. What? Oh my God. That was like a word.
No, likely. It's very likely that there could have been somebody that was on vacation in Greece. There could have been somebody that is from Greece.
But we saw more pictures. We saw that, and then we also saw them walking on the street together. So it's people following them. And that wouldn't be in. There are crazy ass people out there that would take pictures in the airport, then follow them, and then take another picture. But it indicates to me that it's probably some form of
paparazzi,
semi-pro paparazzi, even.
Oh, the minor league.
It's the minor leagues. Like, this isn't Nightcrawler Jake Gyllenhaal going around here. This
Great
is
movie.
like
Great
movie. I know, but this is just somebody probably on their iPhone who's doing it. It still raises a few questions, obviously, and I think that what we want to see, or what everybody on the cast wants to see, is, well, Kyle, she wants to be like completely freaked out by this. And obviously, there's so many different nuances that go into it. Like, the girl looks young. He's got daughters that are basically her age, if not older. So there's a lot that goes into all of that. There's also everything that Kyle did last year. I think that it's just like it's a wash when it comes to the specifics of what's going on for what happened there. It's really just a matter of why now? Why is this coming up? We knew, and we kind of planted the seeds earlier with a couple of weeks ago. He's going over there. He's going to go. He's meeting up with one of his daughters to kind of go around a little bit, but then he's meeting up with PK and Mykonos to go party, and now he's taking pictures with this girl.
Did PK send the paparazzi?
Now we're going in the right direction. Yeah.
Here's how we make this episode.
Everybody else is going to get bogged down by the specifics. This is what we came for.
Did PK set this whole thing up?
Yes, he did.
I like to think he did. Maybe Mo told PK to do it. Or you know what happened? Here's what happened. I got it. They got to Mykonos night one. I guess he picked.
I think what's in it for PK.
She picked her up at the airport.
PK's house was probably getting foreclosed on at the same time, and this was going to trump that.
Oh, this is how he throws people off with the foreclosure.
Yeah.
So he calls the Razzi. Says, "Yo, big things are happening at the airport."
I'm expecting PK with his iPhone following them.
You think PK's the
I think
paparazzi?
PK took the picture. Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
He's This all tracks, guys. Listen.
This actually does track.
This really
Weirdly
does track.
enough, this does track a lot.
So they plan on meeting at the airport in Mykonos. PK goes, I'm just going to wait for you here because I land early. I'm going to hit the bar and then we can go together.
Oh, he doesn't drink. Whoa.
I'm going to go hit the massage table and then we're going to go home together, go to the resort. And so PK posts up. He's sitting there having a croissant or a Cinnabon or something, and he gets off the plane. He also knows
World famous Cinnabon in the Mykonos
world
airport.
famous Mykonos Cinnabon. And then here's what happens. He knows that she's going to be there to pick him up. So he just sits back and waits, got his phone, and then takes the picture. But he texted Mo as he landed and said, hey, I've already gone to the hotel. Just you meet me there. So that he doesn't know he's there.
Mm-hmm.
And he takes the video to throw people off of the foreclosure.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the other aspect of this is there were countless different situations with Morgan Wade.
Sure.
One of them was an airport picture.
Ah.
So it strikes me as an immediate get back. Like
Mo and PK
but a year later.
Mo and PK are in cahoots with this.
They're absolutely
some way, shape, or form.
But also, let's break this down even further.
Okay, great.
How old is Mo? He's like 50?
50 something.
51?
52. I would say 52.
You need a 21-year-old girl to come pick you up at the airport? Get a fucking car, buddy.
Let her stay at the resort.
The whole thing stinks.
She was clearly sitting by the pool before she came
had
to get
resort
you.
wear on.
She
got off of a cruise, by the way.
She was wearing a bathing suit and a fucking cover-up to go pick him up.
Yeah.
Like, the whole thing
stinks.
Yeah,
to high hell.
It really stinks. I think we got to the bottom of it. PK's behind this whole fucking thing. But let's keep trucking because you get Erica Jane with Martin Lawrence. And look, the place looks great. It looks great. It's 100% hers and blah, blah, blah. Like, yeah.
You get as excited as I do when you hear Martin Lawrence?
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Okay, yeah.
100%. Because
Black Knight? Yeah.
Or Blue Streak?
Blue Streak?
Are you kidding me?
I like Black Knight better.
Black Knight is wildly underrated. Does it hold up? The last time you watched it?
Yes. Probably last year.
Was it really? And it holds up? That's awesome.
Definitely holds up.
I used to love that movie.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. OG Martin Lawrence is Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
But
way more interesting than the interior designer popping up again.
Here's what I think. Because, like, again, not a whole lot happened this episode, so we're just going to keep positing theories.
Sure. Yeah, that works.
Does somebody from Bravo, because I know he had a show on Bravo, do they owe him money?
That's a possibility.
And
or I think he might have a new show coming out, but I think it's on Netflix though.
Oh, so this, well, they do, like, there's clearly some crossover with Netflix with like Mo and shit.
Yeah.
I feel like there's something in it for him.
There has to be, but like at the same, like it ruins our viewing experience.
Well, it's just
like you owe this guy money, just fucking pay him or something.
God damn it.
Put him on a show that we don't watch. Like I don't care, but don't put him here.
Maybe he's got a good show that we can watch. But my whole thing is like, look, this storyline is great for her. Like, good for you. You got your shit together.
On a personal level, yes.
On a personal level, it's awesome. Like 100%. I'm not trying to take away from that. I also recognize that not every housewife needs to be the main storyline every season. I can respect that. I can respect if one of the ladies has a season like this, if someone else is bringing it.
Yeah.
Right? If there is a main storyline that we're latched onto, but this has been her storyline now for the entire season. We've had this scene multiple times, right?
Mm-hmm.
I get this is the big reveal, but it's almost lessened because of how many times we've been talking about it. Like you said, if we had a 3-episode sort of arc here where it was like early in the season, I'm redoing my house, nothing. Middle of the season, Martin Lawrence, let's do this. More towards the end of the season, house is done.
3 times. That's all we need.
Boom.
That is all we need.
Right?
And now that I'm thinking about it, even Erica's one-on-ones, it has been, I think, the first episode of the season she met up with Dorit because she was going to a furniture store.
Mm-hmm.
So this is all she's been doing.
Furniture shopping, therapy.
Yeah.
And talking about redoing her house.
Yep.
So again,
and then Kyle comes over, looks around. She had multiple people come over and look at her house. She had Martin Lawrence over there 3 times. She now has her mom over there to finish the product. Like we're 14 episodes in the season.
That's what I'm saying.
7 of those episodes have featured Erica's interior design journey.
Right. And again,
which again, on a personal level, good job.
Yes.
Proud of you. That sounds great. But I don't want to watch it.
I
don't care. And there, maybe there's just literally nothing else going on, and there's no point to us actually doing this. And I don't really know how like the storylines with housewives work. Do they sit down individually with a producer and say, "This is what I have going on in my life," And Erica said, this is what I want to do this year. This is what I want to accomplish.
Perhaps.
I want to be able to get a new car, show that off that I've come out of all of this, and I want to be able to redo my house. And they're like, what else? She said, nothing. Like, is that it?
But that's the problem. I think she's also the victim. I'm not saying that she couldn't have been doing more, but maybe she's the victim of what are we talking about otherwise?
Yeah.
You know, like if we had a main storyline somewhere,
that's the thing too.
It might be a different story.
And I know a lot of people out there are like, yeah, you know, Dorit, Sutton, whatever. Dorit, Sutton can't carry a season.
No.
It just can't. Like, if they brought their A game every single episode, I would still say it can't carry a season.
I just don't know if they're main characters.
No, they're not main characters, and not enough people are invested in either of them.
Right. And I think they're great. Like Dorit this season's been solid.
There's enough else going on. It's just not.
Yeah, it's an interesting season due to that. But we get to Kyle and Kathy at the doctor, and they, like I said, getting the mammograms, all that good stuff. And I still firmly believe that Kathy Hilton is an act.
Mm-hmm.
I don't buy into it. I there's been too many slip ups where I'm like, you know what you're doing. Like little things, even in this moment where she's getting like the doctor's helping her out and she's like, oh, what is that? Bed Bath and Beauty talking about her perfume. I'm like, is that a weird shot you're taking? Because you know that like, it's not nice perfume. Is that what you're like? What are you saying
that
here?
Always mixing up people's names.
Like, that kind of stuff.
She still calls Mauricio Maurice.
Like it just does. I don't believe it anymore because when she needs to be on, we've seen her on and it's like, where the fuck did that come from?
Yeah.
And I think that she always has that. I think she just plays like this character where she...
I think I would take it a step further and say she just acts like this all the time.
Yeah.
I don't even think it has anything to do with the show.
No, I agree. And I think this is her demeanor, but when like she knows exactly what she's doing all the time, I don't believe it. That's what
Although she could be, in a weird negative way, faking it until she makes it. Where she's just been doing this for so long that she has completely devolved her brain into this state.
Until she needs to
turn and she can't get out. Yeah.
That's an interesting premise. But you start talking about Mo again, and this is the part that I was like, oh, that kind of sucks, is the daughters. Like, them seeing this is where it's going to hurt more. And obviously the stuff last year, it's been a lot of back and forth via photos and tabloids and stupid shit like that. But they're like, you know, we know Mo. He's definitely freaking out about this whole thing. I do think that he owes a text. But that also varies depending on, did Kyle ever text Mo amidst all the shit last season?
Because we don't know because she didn't tell anything.
She didn't talk about anything, so it's kind of hard to know. Yeah. But I like the overall discourse between the two of like Kathy and Kyle.
Yeah.
Because there is a universe in which Kyle goes, fuck this, and like rage texts him, like, what's your problem, blah, blah, blah. She's very composed. She looks at it from two different angles where it's like, you know, yeah, it upset me, but like we're separated. He's not technically doing anything wrong. I don't want to blow up his phone and then look crazy when he's technically not doing anything wrong.
Right.
I like that Kathy kind of sits with that too. She's like, I think just don't say anything because also, and this is where she starts to let out a little bit. I'm like, see? Because she goes, people who are silent, it tells you a lot. I'm like, how do you get deep out of nowhere after you just called it Bed Bath and Beauty? Like, I don't believe it, dude.
No, she goes into all of that, obviously. And she's I feel like probably the first one, at least to Kyle's face, that posits the idea that this could have been a setup.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, everybody else is already kind of considering that, but not talking to Kyle directly. But Kathy, and I don't know if I believe this or if she believes this, says that I don't think that Mauricio's smart enough to do this, to set all of this up. But I can find out who did.
Yeah, one ringy dingy.
I do trust that.
Two ringy dingies.
Well,
isn't that creepy that
that
people have power like that in the world? Where it's like, just tell me. You want to know? I'll find out.
I'll figure it out.
It's like I got all the resources.
People.
Like that fucking gives me the heebie-jeebies, dude. I don't
that.
like that shit. But I also think it's hilarious. We live in a time where it's like, you know what I'm gonna do? And it does. It's like it's an important thing. It's a big deal. But it's like, I'm gonna remove a wife from my Instagram bio. Yeah. That's the world we live in right now.
It is.
It's like, holy shit. Did you there's fucking Page 6 had an article about it. It's like Kyle removes wife from bio.
And that's
like,
the type of shit like will always go over our heads.
Yeah.
And like we can some people have said that, you know, we're Bravo. Weren't we called Bravo investigators at one point?
There is a podcast called the Bravo.
Yeah, I know, but like I think somebody called us.
No, Bravo. What was it? No.
Like Bravo experts or like.
Was it Bravo? It was experts.
Yeah.
They called us experts.
That's the type of shit that we will never catch.
Ryan Bailey. It was Ryan Bailey.
Yeah, Ryan Bailey did. Yeah, like we're never gonna, and like this is probably just the downfall of being a dude.
Sure.
We're never gonna go to somebody's page and look multiple times in like a week and be like,
see if it's
whoa, there's an update.
I wouldn't.
And like I'm sure there's people going on there like amidst of all of this, like, oh yeah, there's a whole thing going on with Mo and the pictures, and like I guess it is topical. Let's see what's going on Kyle's page.
Sure.
But you would have to look at least twice to catch something like that. Who's going on her page twice? That's what I don't understand.
A lot of people probably.
Yeah, like I would look once out of curiosity to see if she removed pictures with him. Be like, oh, yeah.
I would look
like,
at that's
some of the pictures are like archived. Yeah, that's a little. Yeah, I guess that's an appropriate response. Maybe things are going a little bit awry over there. But I wouldn't look at her headline and be like, oh, she's no longer a wife.
Maybe that's the difference.
Yep.
I would look at the pictures. I wouldn't even look at the bio.
Exactly.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
But to further my whole thing, because this line really stuck out to me. I don't know if she's planting a seed.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if she knows something. I don't know if she's just throwing shit against the wall. He's not in a place financially to pay anyone off regarding to the paparazzi. This is a dude that is the CEO of an international real estate company that does billions of dollars every year.
He doesn't have Hilton money.
But to say that he doesn't have enough money to pay off paparazzi, I'm like, all
I
right.
think that was just shady, and she just had her sister's.
Is that all it was, or is there more to that?
What do you think? He's in crippling debt?
I don't know. Like that's my whole.
We have to see his apartment.
My whole thing when it comes to Kathy is I do believe she's more calculated than other people think, and by saying something like that, it just makes my ears tick up. I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Is there something there? It could be nothing. It could be absolutely nothing. But it just gives me a pause. I take a pause. I'm like, what did that mean?
I mean, it could still just be like lingering issues. Like now that everything's going sideways with Kyle and Mo, it could be lingering issues from the whole Hilton thing.
Perhaps.
Where he left and potentially took clients and took agents.
Like,
it's just now she can kind of like remove the blinders and just go after him.
Okay.
Take those types of shots.
So
it might mean absolutely nothing. It could also mean that she has her ear to the ground or somebody has their ear to the ground on his financials, and it's a little shaky, and it's not what it presents to be.
Perhaps.
Could be that if you want to read that far into it.
I wanted to just highlight that because
sure.
that one caught me off guard a little bit. But we get to Sutton store with Garcelle. She's planning her big fashion show, and it sounds like Mom's flight keeps getting canceled, so she's curious if Mom's going to make it. She's a little anxious about that whole thing. And we get to the topic, the obvious topic, is Dorit invited or not? The best way to do this is a group text.
Correct.
That was the right move. Send it out to everybody. If she wants to show up, you put the emphasis on her.
Don't alienate her because you send a group text to everybody but her. Bose is not going to go.
Correct.
Other people might take offense to it.
They'll use
Erica might not show up. Like it could just snowball into something else. Send it to a group text. You don't have to talk to her directly.
Right.
Just let her know, hey, you guys can come.
Yeah, I agree. I think it was the smartest move, but they start talking about the Kyle and Mo stuff. And this has been a theme because we like to look at themes across shows. And the theme this year, 2 years ago, it was sound baths.
Mm-hmm.
The theme now is making sure that your friends who are going through divorces have attorneys.
Yeah.
That's what Garcelle and Sutton are talking about. They're like, look, enough's enough. Kyle needs to say enough's enough because, and I do agree with her, but this is also why she gets herself in trouble is how things come out.
Right.
Because it sounds inflammatory.
It does.
And I don't think she's trying to be, but that's just how she talks. Because she goes, Cinderella didn't lose one shoe. You lost two shoes. And you need to grow up and do what adults do and get an attorney and this and that and the other thing. It's like, all right, man, like, you're not wrong.
Yeah.
Because she still is holding on to this hope.
But you're just beating a dead horse at this point.
Right.
And
like,
you can just kind of like throw it out there in a very soft way at this point because you've already talked about it like 4 times. You don't have to use all these crazy references that people don't understand.
Yeah.
I don't even think she understood that one.
No.
It didn't make any sense to me.
I didn't get it.
No.
I didn't get maybe it went over my head. But
Cinderella lost one shoe.
She only lost one shoe.
Yeah.
But
Who's Prince Charming in all of this?
Mo, I guess. So she lost both shoes, but that would give him 2 things to find her with. So that'd make it easier to find her. He's talking about her, like Mo coming back as Prince Charming to find her.
So she's leaving breadcrumbs.
But she's not. She's implying that by losing both shoes, he won't be able to find her. So he's not coming home. But that doesn't make sense because
No, it doesn't.
Prince Charming found her with what?
And this is what happens when you try to make sense of Sutton's references.
This is now we've been talking about it for too long.
Yeah.
This is definitely what happens. But my whole point is like, yes, you're correct. She should move on. She has been waiting for Mo to have this come to Jesus moment where he wants to come back home. She hasn't been moving on with her life. You can say what happened last year was her, I don't want to say rebelling because she was also trying to find herself in that whole season with the Morgan Wade stuff and, you know, living her life a little bit differently, all that stuff. So I don't want to say that she's rebelling last year, but she's definitely more centered this year and now looking at her life as a whole and being like, fuck, where am I at right now? Everything's kind of different. But I do agree, like, it's time, Kyle. Like, it's time for you to move on, whatever that looks like. And that's where I don't agree with, you know, people taking pictures of her at the Morgan Wade show. It's like, all right, at what point is she just living? Like, at what point is she just going to a concert because that's her friend or love interest? Like, we don't know. It's also none of our fucking business. But, like, at what point do we stop taking pictures of her doing things and go, oh, is she getting back at Mo?
Yeah, I think the pictures will never stop. It won't really matter. That just kind of comes with the territory. But the insinuation afterwards, like, ooh, what's going on here?
Yeah.
Anything negative surrounding a picture of her, that'll last until there's certainty on what's going on.
All right.
And I'm not going to tell them
none
how to
of our
live their
business,
lives.
though.
Yeah, well, TV shows, you know, whatever. People think it's always their business when it's on TV. And that is, again, comes with the territory. There's nothing really about that. But I think until there's certainty, which with these two, there's just never going to be certainty. Like, we're going to be doing this for 10 years.
Yeah, until they inevitably get back together at some point. I do believe that they end up back together.
Yeah.
At like you just said, probably in like a decade.
Yeah.
When
They'll sow their oats and then they'll come back.
do all what they got to do, get it out of their system, and then they'll find their way back to each other. I think
And then they'll make a Lifetime movie about it.
I'll watch it.
Starring
Kyle Richards.
No, I was going to say their daughter, but yeah.
They can,
Starring Denise's daughter.
no, they have their own show now. They have their own show now. But we get to Renee and Erica in the cabana. Again, this is a repeat of the scene that we just watched. It's just her proud of everything, not trying to focus on the Tom stuff anymore. Again, for your personal growth, amazing.
Sure.
Incredible. But I just would like more from Erica. But let's go straight on to Dorit and Garcelle at a dinner I didn't expect. And I like this. This is something that we should see more of. Let's make people have dinners.
Yeah.
Let's force awkward interactions. I'm not big, you know that. Everyone that listens to us knows that. We do not like overproduction.
I don't like the overproduction. I don't like the sit-down one-on-one dinners when it's forced between two people that need to apologize to each other or one person needs to apologize. I'm okay with this one just because we know that Sutton, just because we know that Dorit and Garcelle don't get along and they don't really vibe as it is. It's just kind of quirky and different.
I like
it. Like, hey, we get one-on-ones with two people that I would never see in a room together by themselves.
Yeah, I was into it.
I'm okay with that because it's not too forced.
No, I agree with you, but big note, and this is the second time I've heard it, first time I'm calling it out. Dorit no longer says carcass out with her drink order.
Yeah, I've noticed that.
Yeah, she no longer says that, so that's big growth.
She is a big learn the waiter's first name and call him that.
I know people like that.
I don't like
it. It's always interesting to me.
Yeah, I don't like
What's your name, Shelby? Hey, Shelby. It's like they don't
Thanks
care.
a lot, Shelby.
Yeah, did a great job, Shell. It's like, oh, now you got a nickname.
Oh, wow. This has progressed nicely.
This moved fast. But the dinners, I mean, it's awkward as shit in the beginning. And, you know, Dorit, I like Garcelle, how she breaks things down because she is very in tune with people's emotions usually. And she is the one to say, you know, I do appreciate what she's going through. It resonates with me. I've been through a similar thing. And I think a lot of people forget that she's going through a divorce with small children. And I think that people have a lack of sympathy for her. I agree with that 100%. I think that if you watch how people treat Dorit, there has been a lack of handling with care.
Sure.
It's been pretty rough when people get into it with her. And
Yeah, they're getting mixed up in the wrong things.
Right. And look, she's not doing herself any favors, but I would challenge anybody going through that with a dude like PK to maintain your composure and not have some moments. So I agreed with that. I also like that she points to when Dorit went up to her at Bose's at that whole thing and like actually apologized and that landed. So Garcelle's like, you know, I felt like it was a good time that we could restart with this entire thing and try to move forward a little bit. And they seem to here because they definitely connect during this whole thing. They definitely are able to find a path forward. And they bring up the Kyle stuff at Morgan's show. And they're talking about exactly what we just talked about. Is this revenge? Is this her trying to get back at him? And that's all I wrote down was like, at what point is she allowed to just live her fucking life?
Yeah.
because I don't think that's what this is.
No,
I really don't.
it's not.
It's not even like a big fuck you to Mo.
No, because Kyle's taken a huge step back from all of that like public display of anything. I don't even want to call it affection because at some point it was just friendship and people were still going crazy about it. And I feel like she's taken a huge step back because that probably affected her family.
I heard Morgan said something. It was like, stop talking about me.
Yeah, maybe Morgan did too. And whatever. She's still showing up for a friend. And maybe that's where they are now.
Who knows?
Who cares?
Exactly.
Like, it doesn't matter. You can still focus on Mo. Mo is making out with a 21-year-old in an airport in Mykonos.
Let's talk about that.
Kyle is going to her friend's concert. This isn't a get back situation. No. This is her living her life. Go back to talking about Mo. That's fine because he opened himself up to it.
Correct. I agree. But Garcelle, I love this move. What's your beef with Sutton? Dorit's like, my beef? She's like, yeah, dude. She's so unwavering. She's like, I think you have rose-colored glasses with Sutton, which I agree with a little bit.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Like, because we've seen Garcelle go to her defense, and then we've also seen Garcelle get mad at Bose for going to Dorit's defense, which is hypocritical.
Yes.
So I do agree that she handles Sutton with kid gloves sometimes. But she's like, you handle her with rose-colored glasses, and I'm just a cruel, raging bitch. And she's like, yeah, you were. She's like, what? She's like, yeah, you were.
I did think that Dorit handled this okay.
She handled it much better than she has.
Because and look, I think that emotions were flaring when they were at the caviar party too. Yeah. And Dorit did not handle the fallout of that when she's talking to Kyle very well.
Not at all.
But this was way better. And I was worried that she was going to fall down that trap again and really start talking shit on Sutton and talking about, whatever the hell it was that she was talking about before with medication and drinking and all of those things that you can't really talk about because you shouldn't.
No.
And it's just morally wrong. So sitting here, I was worried that was going to happen. And I thought that she just kind of stood up for herself in a good way, which we haven't really seen Dorit do in a long time. And she's been handling that a little bit better pretty much all year long.
Yeah, I mean, she puts it back on Garcelle. She's like, so you think that her and the money comments, like, that was okay? She's like, no, I agree. That was mean and very cruel. It's like perfect.
Yep.
And the best part is she didn't double down, which we see her do 99.9% of the time. She talks too much. In this moment, she just says that, and that's okay. And she goes a step further, and it's not a double down.
No, it's not.
It's saying, it would be really refreshing that in that moment, if you spoke up and said something.
Yeah.
And that's fair, because that tells Dorit that it's not just 100% bias on Team Sutton. It's like you can also say, hey, Sutton, that's kind of fucked up.
Right.
And that would get the group dynamic a little bit more neutral because now it's like, all right, it's not this team versus that team. It's not who are you backing up.
And from Dorit's perspective, she feels like she got ganged up on.
And she
feels like she was bullied the entire time at that caviar party. So hearing this from Garcelle is hopefully a step in the right direction. Like, okay, at least I know I'm not crazy.
Yes.
And I'm not alone on an island somewhere with just Bose who's going to be able to defend me. But she can't do it against everybody. And there's a lot of people that really just didn't speak up. But knowing that at least Garcelle, who's the closest to Sutton, thought the same thing. Like, yeah, that was a little too much. Good.
Yeah.
We can take that in stride and just kind of keep moving forward.
And the fact that she presents the idea, like you speaking up, and Garcelle's like, that's fair. I'm like, this is great. And then we go to Garcelle's confessional. She's like, yeah, I think we can move forward. I will always keep one eye open, without a doubt.
That's fair.
But it's a good step in the right direction. But we get to the fashion show, and we've seen those articles about the cast not vibing with Tilly.
Yeah.
It would be a travesty to lose her.
Yeah, it would.
She is so entertaining in her own right, as like a friend of. Like, that's perfect. She's a great role there. And I'm just curious where that came from. And for those of you that haven't heard about this, apparently the entire cast cannot stand her. Like, she's pretentious, all these other things. That sounds like a good housewife to me.
Yeah, it does. I don't know how we work that into this current group, and I think that says more about the group than it does Tilly.
Perhaps, yeah.
Because they're not close knit, but like they're borderline boring as shit. And that's kind of where we are now, where it's like, oh, a little disruption, somebody's being pretentious, it's a housewife show, get over it.
Yeah,
somebody's talking about wallets being bigger than the other person, get over it, it's a housewife show. And I think we're just kind of like just getting into that mold now where it's just stagnant. And if something like that is really going to disrupt them, and there's things behind the scenes being talked about, and there's things being leaked to the press or bloggers or whoever, and now they're talking about it, that's kind of annoying to me because she is a delight on screen and she's funny.
We like her. The audience likes her.
So bizarre, and she's so out there, but it's so different than everybody else. And like the only other person on this cast, if you will, that I could look at and say, yeah, bizarre and out there would be Kathy.
Sure.
But everybody else is just kind of like in their own thing.
They're doing their own thing right now.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah. And that's fine. But like, I don't know. It would be a travesty to lose Tilly, and to see that they have power over something like that would be annoying to me.
Dude. Like the audience, I have not heard anybody say like, I don't enjoy Jennifer.
Even if she's just comedic relief to you, like you still enjoy her.
Yeah, just keep bringing her back. Please don't get rid of her. But Dorit made me nervous because she gets there and she's like, in a confessional, I'm curious if an apology comes with the invite. I'm like, can you just take it one step at a time? She invited you, you went.
Yeah.
It's a step in the right direction. Or blow it up. Like one of the two.
One of the two.
But
I was happy to see that Sutton wasn't treating this like some crazy strict fashion show. Like you still let Tilly go do Tilly things.
Yeah, for
which,
sure.
and she didn't get upset about that.
No, but
obviously she wants people to walk, whatever. But it wasn't too strict. It wasn't too formal. There was a lot going on in this, and not a lot happened during the fashion show.
No.
Just kind of little funny, quirky moments. But it was nice to see that even though this meant a lot to Sutton, she didn't become like this over controlling person during the whole thing.
I think she was so nervous for it to go well that she was just hyper focused on like her own thing. That's what happened.
She didn't take it out on other people.
No.
Which you don't want to see a monster up there.
Correct. And, we find out RHOBH can't make it. She sat in the airport for 13 hours to try to get there, which I do think is important for Sutton and their growth because that to her tells her that she cares, which is awesome because we obviously don't want to see estranged parents. So that's a nice step forward for them. And that's when Garcelle talks about the whole thing where it's like, Sutton's void of validation. And I don't think she's ever going to get past that. I'm like, that's why I love Garcelle, is because she will say that in a confessional, and Sutton's her closest friend on the show.
Yeah. And we can tell, too, at the end of the speech, or that speech that she gave.
No, dude.
Jesus.
I was like, oh, no.
I thought she was going to turn to the camera and be like, you guys are all proud of me, too, right?
Are the people at home proud of me?
Proud of me?
Are you guys proud of me? Everyone raise your hand if you're proud.
Everybody, come on. Proud?
Like,
I think my mom's proud of me. I'm going to call her again. I'll be right back.
Yeah, look, she wants validation. It's sad because, like, clearly her husband didn't give it to her, mom didn't give it to her, so it's tough to watch. But it is nice to see Kyle and Dorit just cool again. Like I was happy with that. They're joking around and they start talking about the paparazzi. That's where she says, it's just interesting. Like Mo would never do that,
right?
But that girl might do that. I'm like, all right,
like,
we don't know who did it. Somebody definitely did it, but like we can't just point at the 21-year-old because she's got her arms wrapped around your husband. I get it. I get why you want
fully understand it. Yeah,
fair, but we don't know enough to really. I mean, you and I do. It's clearly PK is up to this whole thing, but we get to this show. And Sutton's a mess, but keeping it composed for the most part. Again, Kathy strikes again. And this is my whole thing with her. I'm like, this is not an accident. This is her knowing that she's Kathy Hilton, knowing that she can do this, knowing she can get away with it. She presents the idea after, quote unquote, breaking her knee because she took a funny step. And she's like, do you think Dorit should announce this whole thing? I'm like, no. Absolutely not. Like, that's so
Why
dumb.
are we doing this now?
Yeah.
Sutton's already back there. The show's about to start.
Pretty dumb to bring up right now.
Last second announcer.
What are you talking about? And like, then she goes, I will say I learned that they don't do that anymore. I didn't know that because like in movies I've seen like, and in like exactly what Sutton did, like in the red dress, it's so-and-so. Like I thought they did do that. So I learned something, but at the same time, no, nobody thinks this is a good idea. You get up and walk. Everyone's seated, ready for the show. You get up and walk through the runway, through where they're coming out to go up and present the idea to Sutton, who is about to have a fashion show and is losing her shit. And you go up to her and say, do you want your biggest enemy on the cast right now to be your MC for the evening?
Yeah.
Calculated.
It is calculated. And the reason that like really nailed that home for me was when she walked back out and she said no, but she thanks you so much. That was really sweet. Sutton didn't say that.
Nope, not at all.
Sutton said, no, get out of here.
Yeah, fuck off.
Yeah.
Like, I'm about to do a show. I'm about to, like, shit my pants. Go away.
Yeah.
And then she lingers. She says hi to Renee, Erica's mom, and she's standing there as the show starts, and the first model has to do a sidestep to get around her.
Yep.
I mean, great agility there.
Yeah.
She really, like, good work.
And it's just kind of funny in general.
It's funny, but at the same time, it's so fucking disrespectful.
Yeah, I know.
Like, so beyond disrespectful. And nobody else there could get away with it except for her, and she's aware of that. And this is where I love Erica because she has not ever been intimidated by Kathy Hilton.
Yeah.
Everybody else is. Erica has clocked her pretty much since day one. And she says here's Kathy pulling focus away. Who's surprised? Nobody. It's like she's always been on it. And like that I do appreciate about her. And I'm on that side. I'm like, she knows exactly what the fuck she's doing. It's really fucking rude. I don't know what this is, why you're trying to take a shot at Sutton and fuck up her show. but you're not just being like, oh, da-da-da-da, I'm Kathy Hilton. Like, oops, the show's starting. Like, that's not what happened. And I think it's horseshit.
I agree.
What are you looking at?
I saw a bug.
Oh, gross. Yeah. Is there a bug?
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, don't.
It was like a floaty in my eye.
Oh,
it looked like a gnat.
You're a gnat, bitch. Where was I? Is there a bug?
No.
Well, the show goes off without a hitch, which is awesome, other than the little Kathy Hilton snafu in the beginning. And I thought what Kyle said was really nice. And like, this is a very different side of Kyle that we're getting in, especially later on in this season. She's like, it was very beautiful, very impressive. Erica says, you know, she's not winning any awards, but it was nice. And then Dorit, who just buys things with labels on them. I'm no fashionista.
It's not Chanel, so she's not getting it.
Doesn't have a giant fucking label on, so she just like rolls her eyes at the whole thing. It's like, dude, I get it. You guys aren't cool right now, but like, if there's any hope to move forward, like she did extend the invite. You did say yes, and now you're shitting on her in a confessional, which Sutton's gonna see, and you're just, what's the goal? What's the goal? Are we just trying?
I don't see anything wrong with that. It's whatever.
All right, whatever. I don't know, but.
That's why I feel like this show's in such dysfunction right now.
It's just like whatever.
Like, that is just like they're beefing right now. Like, yes, she's still going to show up. One, it's a thing that happens on the show. Two, it is kind of funny that she's showing up to somebody who she's beefing with and she's going to the fashion show. Of course, she's going to have some petty comments to make.
Yeah,
like, that's just par for the course and kind of normal. But again, dysfunctional show.
Yeah.
Because now you're sitting here like, yeah, just get along with her.
That's a good point.
And it's like, that's boring.
That's a good point. Yeah. Look, it's a weird watch right now. But you get Sutton's speech at the end. I hope my daughter's proud.
Yeah.
My daughter's in the stands. Hope you're proud. My mom was going to come. I hope she would have been proud.
You guys think she was proud?
Raise your hand if you're proud. Beep. Bye, I love you.
Everybody say thanks, Sutton. Please.
But she goes backstage, and it's nice. Everyone is like giving her props, and she does feel validated. She does have that moment. She's like, wow, she thanks all of her friends, like gives the group their flowers, like does point out how important this dysfunctional crew is in her life, and gets some validation. So, I mean, again, like you look back at the episode, it's like, yeah, people made strides, people did things, people moved their lives forward, but like, at what entertainment value, right? Like, that's the question. So, Beverly Hills is just kind of in a weird place right now.
Yeah, it sure is.
And I don't know what like, usually we have ideas, and they may not be good ideas, but we usually have ways that like, oh, do this or try that. It's like, I truly
forgot about the most important part.
What did I forget?
Sheena was there.
Oh yeah, Sheener was there, and I said to Dev, I was like, "Oh my god, she's got to be in a crop top."
Yeah,
she was.
Yeah, of course.
I didn't see it. I had to rewind it.
I was worried about Sheena this week.
Sheener, why are you worried about Sheena?
The Jax news. I immediately thought, like, what does Sheena think about this? What does this mean for her?
Boy, she's gonna talk about it on Shenanigans.
Yep, we can figure it out then.
Yep. Free plug for Shenanigans. Let's get to some questions.
Oh, here you go. Here's a little backup from Caitlin Cruz. What do you all think about Kathy? This clueless shtick is becoming not fun.
Thank you.
Yep.
We're on to her.
I don't. It doesn't bother me either way. It's not like it's becoming not fun for me. It's just kind of like who Kathy is, and she's not on all the time. So like, it's not taking away.
It's not taking away.
There's enough on this show that is taking away from me. That's not a focal point, but it's noticed.
It's more of a focal point for me.
Yeah, it is.
I'm stuck on it. I'm like, I want to know who you really are, because you don't get to this level with fucking being this aloof all the time. Like, I don't believe it.
From Rags, Kyle is back. Give us more honesty.
I agree. She's doing more.
She's definitely sharing a lot more.
And I love that. I'm actually stoked that she's at this place on the show. I think it's great. I just need the rest of the show to pick up.
This is actually a funny one. This is also not a question, but from C Right Fam 6. My 10-year-old saw you guys on YouTube for the first time and said, that's exactly what I thought they looked like.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Don't let him watch this. Like,
yeah. Yeah.
Wait. I would never tell you how to parent, but unless you want him to learn some choice words, you know, maybe wait till he's like, I don't know, what's 16?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's fair. And last one here from Max June. Who among the cast hates Jennifer Tilly? There's rumors of tensions. Have you seen who it is specifically?
No article has said who. None of the rumors have said who. I would imagine Erica. No, Erica loves that shit.
I don't think so. I think Erica loves her, and she's complimented her purses.
Dorit, I could see being fed up. Sutton, I could see. No, Sutton's her best friend.
Sutton's her friend.
I could see Dorit.
I could see Kyle like weirdly
maybe
not liking
Kyle.
her. They had that scene early on where Kyle was kind of scared of the
Oh yeah, the house or
Chucky
whatever.
doll and the
Maybe
house
Kyle.
and the
Maybe
clock.
she's too quirky for Kyle. Dorit, I think I would say Dorit's
Dorit is like
probably one.
100%, but like she shouldn't hold any weight.
Like Bose and
Kyle doesn't like her. I
Garcelle
kinda get it.
and
Bose, I feel like is still trying to understand everybody.
yeah, she to me seems like someone that doesn't
I
like
don't get it.
condemn people. She just kind
Yeah.
of sits back and waits.
I don't get it.
I don't know. Like I don't get it. I
Is
do
it
not
just
get
like
it.
a fan out there that really doesn't like her for some reason
That
because
just
they're like
started
a
this
huge
all of these.
whoever fan and they're just like we're gonna get this going.
Perhaps. Yeah, because I don't know. It's like
Even when I think about like if you ask us this on any other show and there's
Mhm.
rumors about somebody hating somebody else and we don't know who it is, we could speculate and we would probably figure it out pretty quickly.
yeah,
This one I'm like, I have no idea.
I really don't.
Yeah.
I really don't. But I'm curious if it'll come out. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll have
Time
to
will tell.
keep an eye on it.
But don't forget, if you guys want to give Magic Mind a try and pick yourselves up in the morning, make sure that you go to magicmind.com/shows and use our code SHOWS20 at checkout. Again, you can claim that at magicmind.com/shows. Give it a whirl. I'm telling you, this is a product that we truly, truly believe in. We both take it every day. So go to magicmind.com/shows. Use our code right now. You got anything else?
Nope.
Well, that's our show. Bro's gotta go.